What's good, people? We back at it for another episode, another week. What's the Word with LJ Mental Podcast? As always, I'm yours with the most LJ. Yeah, man, back in here for another week. So yeah, before I get into my word of the week, just want to talk a little football first, right? Big into football. Um, but the word of the week kind of relates to a little bit of football, but yeah, I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. But first and foremost, I want to football is back. NFL. If you're in the college, I know that's back too, but I'm really talking about the NFL, pro football. But yeah, week one happened. You had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl champs. Look good. The Cowboys surprised people. Look good. Bucks won. Uh, Interesting. Like I said before, my preseason before the season started, I picked the Bills and the Packers to go to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, things in a full swing, and it's interesting to see fans back in these stadiums. Like looking at that Bills game, and I'm like, man, that place is rocking. Looked like it wasn't an empty seat in there. Uh, and I'm looking at that crowd and for the first time seeing fans in the Rams Stadium because they've opened the new stadium last year, SoFi in Inglewood, and they didn't have fans obviously through the whole season. Uh, but this year, the first time they had fans in there, they had a DJ. Shit looked crazy. It was dope. First time in the Raiders' new stadium in Vegas, they have fans. Uh, so yeah, it's dope to see that. Even though technically we still in the pandemic. I mean, we still got COVID out here, but we're able to control it, and we can't keep stay locked down forever. We just gotta adjust and move on, as the world has to do, and we thrive and continue to do so. Um, yeah, it's just dope to see the fans back, and you got real crowd noise that these quarterbacks got to deal with again. Because what I was thinking last year, not that is a big deal, but I do think it matters somewhat. Like how Justin Herbert, rookie quarterback last year, was doing great, and he actually looked great week one this week. But I was thinking the young quarterback who had success last year. Not that it's everything, but something is like they did that with no crowd noise last year. I wonder how they're gonna do when they get in these noisy stadiums on the road, like Kansas City, for example, is a really loud stadium, or on the road at Seattle or somewhere like that. Um, how they gonna respond because they never really dealt with that before. Um, in the NFL, so to speak. I know you got college and stuff where those fans can get loud too, but it's a whole different ball game in the NFL. That's just a whole another layer. So I was just wondering, like, I wonder how they gonna do when they got to deal with crowd noise on the road and them real loud stadiums. Um, but yeah, Justin Herbert looked good. I didn't get a chance to look at everybody, but some and I heard some people saying Josh Allen, like, oh, he making a joke saying, oh, he can only perform when he did empty stadiums. Well, he was at home. The game was in Buffalo, so that wouldn't have been a factor. If he was on the road because he played the Steelers, if it was at Heinz Field, then you could say that. But even so, I don't think that's the case. Because 1 week um, is 1 week, and we gonna go. And I ain't never pick the Bills to go to the Super Bowl ever, and I still got some concerns about it. Like I'm still gonna stick with them. I'm not gonna jump ship. I'm not gonna overreact like people tend to do. I said earlier this week that people love to overreact to things, and when things don't look too great, especially week one, people is just a land overreaction. Like, oh, this team look like this team gonna go to the Super Bowl, or this guy's gonna win MVP. Or this team is pathetic. Oh, you need to bench him or them, and yeah, we love to overreact. to week one. Um, some things look really great. Some players look excellent. Some teams and players look absolutely pathetic this week one. But as far as Josh Allen, I think he gonna get it together, and I think down the road the Bills are gonna be a better team than the Steelers, even though they lost by 1 point. And that don't sleep on that Steelers defense. They don't look like the steel curtain, like what they known for, like throughout the years in the '70s or even the early 2000s. They don't look like that strong of a defense, but yeah, it is a strong defense, I think. And but yeah, that's gonna be a legit team. I think I don't know how good Big Ben Roethlisberger is, cause I mean, really look at the game. I mean, the Steelers didn't really do much on offense. I mean, if it wasn't for a blocked punt, they probably would have lost. So a blocked punt that turned into a touchdown because they couldn't move the ball off. If it wasn't for that, you could arguably say, honestly, the Steelers would have lost. I mean, so neither team really moved the ball that well. So, but the Rams, they look good. I said I wasn't sold on the Rams at all. I'm still not sold yet. But it was dope to see fans in the stadium, and they dominated the Bears, who I think is a legit defense. When like I say, when shit hits the fan, like when you really start figuring out who's gonna be there in the playoffs in November, December, I think, yeah. But the Rams, they look good. I'm still not sold yet. But we gonna see how things shake up. Matthew Stafford, he's always been a decent quarterback. And I've said this year, I think people are overrating him. I'm like, saying, oh, he was a stud on a bad team. I'm like, you do realize that this dude, for a good 5, you could say 6 years of his career, that's a long time to be a starter. Um, he had probably one of the 7 greatest receivers that ever stepped on the field. To me, second to only Randy Moss, most athletic player I've ever seen on a football field, and Calvin Johnson. He had that guy for about, 7 years of his career. Megatron retired in 2015. Stafford got in the league in '09, so he had about 6 to 7 years he had Megatron. To me, the second greatest athletic talent I've ever seen on a football field. And he did absolutely nothing with him. Never won a playoff game. Um, and he had some good players on that team. He had the Dominican Sue. I think Nick Fairley's underrated at the time. There were some players on that defense and offense. So I don't want to hear that Stafford had a garbage team this entire time in Detroit. You could say that, yeah, the last couple of years they've been pretty pathetic, but that hasn't always been the case with Detroit. So, yeah, he with the new team, maybe that's what he needed. Sometimes you need a fresh start in life. Like, we need a fresh start. I know all about fresh starts. I've moved a couple times in my life. I grew up in Buffalo, moved to Pennsylvania. Now I'm in California. So, I feel like I need a fresh start myself. Get to where you want to be. Maybe that's what Matt Stafford needed. Maybe he needed a fresh start somewhere else in a new city, in a bigger city. Detroit, obviously, a real small market. Not to shit on Detroit at all, because I know a few people out in Detroit, and real cool people out there. But yeah, he probably just needed a change. Yeah, it's interesting week one. But yeah, I'm happy football's back. Not so happy about a particular team. We're actually really disgusted by particular team. But yeah, happy football's back. Um, Things gonna really. I think it take at least like some people say a month. I think it take about 6 to 7 weeks after a couple of people had their bye weeks to really start figuring out, okay, this who's legit and who's gonna be there in the championship game and possibly the Super Bowl. It's gonna take a couple weeks. And it's always that one team that surprised the hell out of everybody. Like it's always that one where you'd be like, okay, I ain't see this shit coming. So yeah, it's It's always that one. I think some people I know pick the Chargers. The Chargers might be that team because even though there's people saw a lot of promise in Justin Herbert last year, and obviously their record didn't reflect that. But who knows? The Chargers might be that team that's creeping up on people. I know some people, not a lot of people. I wasn't sold on them yet, but I know a couple people that were. Um, yeah, we gonna see. Now, okay, so word of the week is distractions. The reason why it's distractions, right? Let me get into it a little bit, right? There's so many distractions in life, right? With obviously, I think the most obvious one is the internet and social media, right? People can't put their damn phone down. It's sad that we live in an era like that. I mean, I think social media can be good, but it can also be poison too. A lot of toxic shit on there. It's people get addicted to it. Like it's bad. Um, It's a lot of distractions out here from entertainment to getting caught up with getting caught up with the opposite sex or whatever. Like if you like you don't like you do right and you trying to get things done. Like or even back when you in high school or something, right? You know you need to study, right? Or get for this exam or whatever. And but you constantly up with these chicks and you can't focus. And I know and that I could apply to females too possibly. I mean you gotta some people get distracted and we some people claim they live by the code money over hoes, right? And so if you truly live and that applies not just to females but or not to dudes but the females too. They might live by that code money over hoes. So not just so both sides, both men and women that could apply to, where they don't get distracted. But don't allow yourself to get too distracted. You're supposed to enjoy life for sure. I think it's a lot to enjoy out here, but it's so many. It's hard to. You know you need to get stuff done. You know you need to lock in and get focused. It's a lot of distractions in this world. A lot. Sometimes you can lose focus. Sometimes you can get very distracted and cause you lose your composure and things that go bad very quickly. I'm said all that to say the Green Bay Packers, my team. I've been a diehard Packer fan. I've said since I was 7 years old. Um, Packers look absolutely awful. There's a lot of distractions, I think, obviously with this off-season drama. And it's hard not to point out, like you could say, like, oh, it didn't play a role in them getting destroyed by the Saints. Packers lost to the Saints 38-3. That's pathetic for a team that is supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. You can't be a Super Bowl contender looking like that. Granted, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost to the same New Orleans Saints team. Granted, they had Drew Brees, but other than that, they didn't really lose any significant. Well, they also were out Michael Thomas too. But Brady lost to that team 35-3 in the regular season. Ended up winning the Super Bowl. Who knows? I'm trying to look at a positive note. Trying to give myself a positive. Okay, this happened to Brady and the Bucks last year, and they won the Super Bowl. But yeah, this you can't just ignore that though. You could say it's just one game, it's only week one, and I'll try not to overreact. It is only week one, but you could tell Green Bay just looked unprepared and didn't look focused. And even with the interview before the game kicked off with Fox, Aaron Rodgers, like he brought it up again. Granted, he didn't just bring it up. He was asked about it by Aaron Andrews about how like what role did this play in you coming back to Green Bay and all this other stuff. But he's brought it up a few times now, and this is getting on my damn nerves. Like, well, wish you would stop talking about it and just play. Like it's kind of annoying now. And I think Aaron is all in. He's too great of a quarterback not to bounce back, I think. But yeah, that was pathetic performance. Not by him, but everybody. But Aaron Rodgers is the leader of the team. And I think everybody that's following behind him is that's gonna reflect, and you can just tell everybody just. I mean, that offensive line was getting bullied. Granted, I know he lost a couple offensive linemen. Corey Linsley, who's with the Chargers now. David Bakhtiari, who's still hurt, won't be back for a little bit. So yeah, but the defensive line was mostly healthy, and they just got bullied badly. It was bad, really bad. And I think some you could. It's hard not. This is argue like I mean, Aaron Rodgers is not there for the OTAs. It's not everything, but it's something to think about. Did not play any preseason games. It's hard not to think. I mean, when Aaron said he contemplated retirement a few times. When in NFL, you know, I think any job you got to be all in, especially quarterback in a legendary franchise like the Green Bay Packers. Like you got to be all in. I'm not accusing him of not being all in. I'm not going to say he's looking like Jay Cutler because everybody know that's a guy that didn't care. So, but not accusing him of that. But it's hard not to say like, okay, he wasn't distracted by something. Obviously, he was thinking about being the host of Jeopardy. Obviously, he was a guest host for a couple weeks earlier this year of Jeopardy. To thinking about retirement, being in Hawaii, vacation in Hawaii for a long time, most of the off season, to all the other stuff. I mean, to not showing up for OTAs, and he did show up for training camp on time. You gotta give him credit for that. He did show up for training camp. He did. But he still, and I loved his first press conference. He was just completely honest. I get it. The problem is he won't shut up about it. He's brought it up a few times. So that's the problem. So yeah, it's hard not to imagine. Like I said, there's a lot of distractions out in this world going on. Aaron Rodgers, obviously a big time NFL quarterback, and got other interests. He got the money to loot and do all these different things. So I don't know. Yeah, it's hard not to imagine he wasn't distracted. And some of the throws he made is just like, what the hell was that? Like, and it's not all his fault. Everybody looked bad. Everybody. There was not one Green Bay Packer player that looked good on Sunday. Everybody looked bad. Everybody. Seems like everybody. I don't know how it is in the locker room if somebody's distracted. Like, oh, this is possibly Aaron Rodgers last year. They talking about that comparing it to Michael Jordan's Last Dance or whatever. Use that with quotation marks because it's not even close to the same thing. But I know they were comparing it to that. But yeah, we just gotta see how it's gonna play out, and I think they will bounce back. But yeah, distractions is big, not just for an NFL team, but for everybody. Like it's hard not to be distracted in this world. And with this daggone your phone, like is the perfect example. Like I mentioned with social media, people play games on their phone, and when they know they need to be getting shit done. So yeah, it's a lot of distraction. I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of being distracted by certain things when I know I need to get shit done. I've gotten better at that, but sometimes we just need to take a break from those distractions and make sure we get shit done. Like seriously, because that's important. Especially if you grown, you gotta pay our bills. You gotta I don't know. You could be training to be a lawyer. Be training to be a doctor. You can't let yourself be distracted doing that. You might be trying to open up a business. You could be listening to outside noise and letting that eat away at you. You can't let that shake your composure. You just gotta keep it going. There's a lot of distractions out here. So yeah, I just use this situation with the Packers as a moment to talk about my word weeks for about distractions because there's a lot of distractions out here for everybody in this world. Anybody listen to this know, like I'm sure you got maybe you a beast at it and you don't get distracted often. But a lot of people we get distracted like easily. Yeah. But yeah, just use that as a moment to but yeah, my Packers up. They better bounce back. I think they will. We got the Lions, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared of the 49ers. We got them right after the Lions, that team. If we could somehow beat them, then I'll feel more confident. But yeah, after that ass whooping we took Yeah, that Niners game is looking even more scary. So yeah, key is and I know like we like to look at our things and we like to do certain things, but yeah, and just the key is yeah, try not to be distracted. That's the key, you know. All right, so last thing I'm gonna talk about before I get up out of here, um, I'm gonna talk a little bit about this the Matrix Four, right? Um, it's an official name for the movie Matrix Resurrections. Obviously, Matrix Revolutions, which came out 2003, so about 18 years ago. Now, me, I was a big fan of the Matrix. I've seen all three movies multiple times. It's been a long time since I've seen any of them. I'm probably gonna watch at least the first one sometime in the near future again because it's been a while. But new Matrix trailer came out, um, and it's slated to come out the movie right before Christmas. It's December 22nd of this year. Uh, can't wait. I know it got delayed because of COVID. I remember seeing reports. I don't know how true it was, if that was really gonna happen. That the Matrix Resurrections and John Wick Chapter Four, which Keanu Reeves stars in both, is the main character of both. Are supposed to come out at the same day. I don't know how true that original report was, but I know both got delayed. And I think John Wick 4 is actually supposed to come out in May 2022. But yeah, I'm looking forward to both because John Wick is also, I love those movies. I've seen all three. I can't wait for the fourth one. But my biggest takeaway, when I saw the trailer, I was excited because I can't wait to see it. I'm definitely going to see this Matrix movie. Big fan. Um, so remember seeing Neo, seeing Trinity back. But my first thing was, okay, where's Morpheus? And there is a Morpheus, but it's not Lauren Fishburne. I'm like, come to find out, because when I'm watching the whole trailer and I'm like, okay, where the hell is Morpheus? I see Neo training, getting back to training again. But then come to find out, I looked it up and I'm like, oh, that guy's Morpheus? I'm like, why is Lawrence Fishburne not? And apparently Lawrence Fishburne talked about it like he wasn't even asked to come back by the director of this movie. And I'm like, that's very disappointing because he was a great Morpheus. So to see he's not there is, yeah. It's not everything. I still want to see the movie, but yeah, that's disappointing. I wanted to see him. Like, huh? But Lawrence Fishburne is part of the John Wick universe, and he is going to be in John Wick 4, Chapter 4. I think is the official title right now. I don't know if it's going to change, but I think that's the official name, John Wick Chapter 4, I believe. Uh, but yeah, yeah, that's disappointing. But at least him and Keanu Reeves is in John Wick together, and I love Lawrence Fishburne role on there, but not seeing him as Morpheus is disappointing, man. Like he is Morpheus to me, so it's gonna be a little different. I'm definitely still going to see the movie, but yeah, it's not the same. I can't wait for, like I said, both movies for Matrix, and I don't know where they go from how Revolutions ended to now to this most recent one to Resurrections. Like I don't know, like, and I was curious, like is Agent Smith gonna be back? Like, 'cause I didn't see him in the trailer, unless he's gonna be a different Agent Smith. I think that was the there is gonna be a different Agent Smith, or maybe there's a different agent. Um, I don't know. We just gotta wait and see. But at least the original Neo and Trinity are back. As far as everybody else, we'll have to see. But yeah, can't wait for that. Yeah, some dope movies coming out. Like I can't wait. I'm a big Marvel head. Even though I'm not a fan of Tom Holland as Spider Man, I'm definitely still gonna go see that. Um, the Venom movie. Love Venom as and I guess he's considered like an anti-hero. He's not really a villain in the movies. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Venom Let There Be Carnage. Can't wait for that. Yeah, some dope stuff coming out. So yeah, but the Matrix movie, yeah, my only takeaway is like, yeah, it's disappointing. No Lawrence Fishburne is Morpheus, but still excited about it. Gonna go see it, and yeah, I think it'll be good. But we're gonna see. Uh, so yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Um, Word of the week was distractions. Yeah, we got a lot of distractions, world, and just don't let the distractions deter you from getting your goals accomplished. Don't don't let them distractions ruin you. Don't do it. Um, and I'm not saying they're gonna ruin the Packers, but they definitely got ruined week one. Uh, but yeah, we just gotta stay focused, stay grinding, keep it moving, and stay sucker free. Remember that. I'm out.